Welcome back to another What Sold video. If you're new here, my wife and I resell full-time on eBay, and on Mondays, we put out a video showing you guys what sold for us the previous week. This week's going to be a little different. I'm not going to be going through the finances in this video as I usually do. I just don't have the time today to do that. Ran out of time with some other stuff, so we're just going to get right into the brands and show you guys what sold throughout last week's sales. We ended up doing just over $6,100 last week. The sales are picking back up, and there were a lot of great items that sold, so let's get right into these sales. All right, to start us off, we had a Ted Baker blazer sell. It's a nice paisley pattern blazer, looked really cool, and it was in perfect condition, so picked it up for about 10 bucks. And in this video, I'm going to actually go just tell you the entire total sales amount as well, just to speed up the process on my side. So this will include shipping, fees, and everything in the price. This one ended up selling for $117 all in, and sat for only about a month or two. Did really good price-wise on the sale, more than I was expecting, honestly, and just super happy with this sale. Next one is Corcoran. I always pick up these Corcoran boots whenever I find them, unless the price is too crazy. This brand has always sold super well for me. They make these military-style combat boots. Most of them are black, but every once in a while you can find a brown pair, and they have always sold for over $100 all in for me. These ones ended up selling for $105. Next item is a Ralph Lauren barn coat, a nice green color, had some flaws on it, and ended up picking this up half off at a thrift giant for around 15 bucks, and it ended up selling all in for $99. So super good sale. It sold within just a week of listing, and these barn coats for Ralph Lauren are super hot even at the end of winter right now. With the weather starting to change, it still sold really well, which is impressive on my in my opinion. Next one's Icebreaker, another winter item. Glad to get these things out before the summer. This one ended up selling for $92, and Icebreaker is a really good brand. It's not super common, but overall, most of their stuff is worth selling, if not all of it. We rarely find it here in Texas, but I believe up in the north it's much more common. Next one is this FootJoy. You guys probably saw this if you watch the channel regularly on a recent haul video. I ended up picking up 4 of these shirts, all different patterns, but from the same person with the same logos. This was the only new with tags one, and it's a tour issued FootJoy. I ended up finding the player who owned them or who they were made for, and it was Tyler Duncan. Put that in the listing as a title, and this sold within 24 hours for a best offer and ended up selling all in for $85. And this was an international sale too, which is why it was ended up being 85 bucks all in. And the guy who bought it also bought a solid white one that was used for, I believe, $30 because it had some flaws. So he bought this one plus that one, and they both went international. So I couldn't combine the shipping since it went international. It wasn't like one sale, but ended up mailing in 2 packages and 2 great sales. Because I also paid $5 for this one new with tags, and the white one was only $1.99. Next one is Tundra. This is almost a QG style, I would say. You can't put QG style in the name of the title, or else your listing will get pulled down by eBay for some of their terms of service stuff. So I didn't put that in the title, but it was close to a QG pattern, which is why I picked this up. I ended up spending up on this item, paid $14.99 for it a month ago, and it ended up selling all in for $82. So a really good sale. Again, going out of winter, I'm just glad to get some of these items moving and grooving before they become less valuable as it warms up. Next item is a Peter Millar blazer. This one sat for less than a month, and Peter Millar blazers are typically always worth picking up unless there's flaws with them. In my opinion, they're worth picking up. So we buy them whenever we find them every single time, but it's very rare that we actually do find them. This one had a little flaw in the sleeve, but little flaws like that sometimes doesn't make a huge deal, especially it being that minimal. So next one's this Ralph Lauren quilted jacket, size 2XL. It's a packable jacket too. There weren't any exact comps on this item whenever I was comping it out. I think there might have been one that was the best offer, and it was a $50 list price. So I ended up just listing this high because I felt like it was going to sell at a high price just because of what it was, even though there weren't any comps that were anywhere near what it sold for. And it ended up selling in a week for $81 all in. So really good sale. And again, these winter items are just moving. People are still buying them, but they just got to be high demand stuff if you're still buying them to resell right now. Next one is this pair of Yeezys I found at Goodwill for $7.99. Ended up sending them in to check to get them authenticated before I listed them, it passed. It was a horrible size shoe, size 6. So that's why they didn't sell for, over $100. There was like 3 listed or 4 listed and 0 sold. So I priced them underneath everyone else's prices and put the check authentication there. And then eBay is also going to authenticate them, which I'm sure it's in the process of being authenticated as we speak. But this ended up selling for $76 all in. Took a best offer on them, and yeah. Next item is this Armani Zegna, as someone told me to pronounce it. Quarter zip. It's made out of cashmere silk blend, which is really why I picked it up. That was why it added a ton of value to this thing. A cotton one or something would have only sold for probably 30 to 40 bucks plus shipping, but having that cashmere in it, 70% cashmere, increased the value by 2x. So listed this thing and it sold in a week for $71 all in. Really good sale. Zegna cashmere stuff obviously is going to be through the roof on their used pricing. Compared to the other stuff, as the MSRP on a sweater like this from Zegna is probably, I don't know, 1,400 bucks, I would guess. So next item is this Roback. I ended up picking this up for $4.99 a couple weeks ago. Took about 2 weeks to sell and took a best offer on it at $70 or $69. Nothing too special about this besides just being Roback. Like there's no pattern like they typically have and stuff. So it took a week longer to sell, because I usually can sell these in a week. But this one took a week longer to sell and for a little less money than typical, simply because it's just a solid color, but still an amazing sale for a golf polo. Next one is Allen Edmonds. These were the, honestly, I don't even know what model these are. Interesting. Don't know what model it is. The Voyager. This is called the Voyager. I didn't have it in the title for some reason, but it is called the Voyager model. Ended up selling these for $67. Allen Edmonds do really good for us if it's the right model. This one I ended up buying, I believe, at a Goodwill for probably 10 bucks. So great sale. Ended up listing these, I think, 2 weeks ago, and they've already sold. So quick sale as well. Next one is Viore. Everyone, I think now, or not everyone, but a lot of people are knowing this brand now, as most people are talking about it. It's selling better than Lululemon nowadays by a long shot, and it's becoming more common in the thrift stores compared to a year ago, obviously. So we're finding it now almost once a week, but definitely every other week we find at least one piece of this in the thrift stores. And so this one ended up selling for 65 bucks all in. Great sale. Again, this stuff sells within about a week if you price it right. And yeah, I think we listed this literally, it sold probably in 2 days of listing it. So next one is this Sid Mashburn pair of pants. These had flaws, 2 marks on the bottom of the front pant leg. That's a pin mark. And then this is some other marking. Still sold within 48 hours for a all-in price of $63. Sid Mashburn I've picked up a few times. It's a pretty rare brand, but it's always done well whenever I pick it up. So whenever I do find it, I get pretty pumped because it's rare and it's also a nice selling brand. So Sid Mashburn, there's tag, great brand across the board. Next one is American Giant. American Giant, if you saw again the recent haul video, this was in there. I think we paid, I don't remember what we paid on this, honestly. Size small, I think we paid under 10, honestly, for this one. Might have been a little more than that though, but nevertheless, it ended up selling for 63 bucks within a week or two. I think 2 weeks it sold. 2 weeks it sold. So great sale, and we picked up another one of these very similar to this about a week ago. So hopefully that one will also sell, and we can get both of these ones, that brand, both of those items moved from that brand. So next one's Judy Blue. My wife found this one in a Goodwill, new with tags. Super good brand. This stuff sells within a week for us whenever we list it, and yeah, I mean, this is just a crazy good brand. It doesn't sell for a ton of money if it's used. Usually about 30 bucks on average plus shipping, maybe 25 plus shipping, but we can usually get their jeans for 8 bucks and then, turn around and sell them a couple days later for 25 to 30. Don't know how long this brand's going to be in for, but right now it's super hot on social media, so it's still being bought up. This one, new with tags, buyer ended up paying $62 all in for the item, and a great sale. Next is this new with tags Ralph Lauren. Well, it's a new with defects, but the defect you'll see in a second isn't too bad. It's a new with defects 2XL, just crew neck pullover, and the defect is that the sticker that used to be there for the size sticker just has residue on the shirt now, and so once it's washed that will come out, and it's not a big deal, but still had to note it as new with defects since that was there. This item ended up selling for $61 all in. The next item is a Johnny Was. My wife found this just the other day, and it sold, I believe, in 24 hours for $59 all in. So took a best offer. Buyer paid $59 all in. Johnny Was is a great brand across the board. I mean, it's just an amazing brand to find. We don't find it often, but it's awesome when we do find it, because it's usually under like $3, and it's super cheap to ship, and they're super easy to list, and it sells very well. Next is this pair of Ariat boots. I think I paid $10 at a Goodwill for these, maybe 12. And it took a while for me to end up wanting to list them. Like, they've been sitting in the house for a couple months, but ended up listing them last week, and they sold within a few days for $59 all in. So good little sale there. Next is this Tommy Bahama 3XL big with a really cool vibrant pattern. We got this a long time ago, 3 to 4 months ago, with 2 other Tommy Bahamas that were this size and crazy pattern like this. And the other 2 have sold, I believe, by now, and this was the last one. We priced them up really high because of the size and the pattern. Buyer ended up paying $55 on this item, and a great sale for a Tommy Bahama silk camp shirt. Next is this pair of New Balances. These were pretty beat on the sole, had quite a bit of wear, but New Balance 990s still sell really well, even with wear like that, because they are, I believe, $180 new. So buyer ended up paying $55 all in for this item, and this sold within, I think, 2 weeks. So even with some wear like that, not a big deal. Still isn't a super high demand item, and people will still purchase them. Then we have this awesome Wrangler, this Western Wrangler Aztec style shirt. Made in the USA, I believe. Oh, no, made in the Dominican Republic. But super cool vintage Wrangler. Ended up picking this up for probably $5 to $8, and it sold for $50 all in. So anything, everyone knows, anything Wrangler like this that's crazy is a super, super hot item to sell right now. It probably will for a very long time. And then if you can find the brush popper stuff with the waterproofing or water resistant lining and all that in it 2 to 3x is the value. So I've yet to find one, but I'm hunting for it. Next is this linen Ralph Lauren shirt. This was another recent thrift haul video. Listed it a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. 100% linen, which is why we picked it up. And this ended up selling all in for $49, which is on the higher side of what we get for these typically. We usually get 30 to 35 plus shipping, but this one sold for the ask price of 40 plus shipping. So great sale, just a normal size large, nothing crazy. Just the linen stuff for Ralph sells very well. So I had to make this video really short for you guys, or try to make it short and condensed for me. I'm got a ton of stuff I got to get done today, but wanted to get it out there so you guys could see what sold over last week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you like videos like this, as we put them out, this style video out every single Monday. And so if you would like to see more of that, hit the subscribe, notification, and like button, and we will keep sending them your way. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there's going to be a video on each one of those days coming out at 11 a.m. Central Time, and it's a big thrift haul that we did, but we separated out the stuff to cost categories. So the first video will be the lower end bread and butter stuff, second video will be the mid end, and then the last video on Thursday will be the high end stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time coming, and I will see you guys in those videos. Have a good rest of the week, and best of luck thrifting.